Hello, and welcome to my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. Habari, gani. Imani. Imani means faith. This is our final principle of our Kwanzaa reads. What is Imani and its importance? This speaks to our belief in the beauty, belief in the commitment to, belief in the values of our people, our family, our community, our culture. All right. This is, to me, a culmination of all of the previous principles that's rooted deeply in ancestral legacy. So the symbol for Imani is the Ankh, and this is a symbol of life in Egyptian or Kemetic religion. And for some people, they think that, the Ankh could be the symbol of the womb, lots of different things. And just this term in and of itself and what it's trying to represent for me is about the connectedness that we have to our past and how that connects with our present and how we link that to our future, and all the things that we say, the way that we do things, how we interact with each other, how we see one another, what we're building in the moment, and what we're projecting out into the future. There has to be something that you believe in that has value or importance. There has to be something about your family or your community or your culture that you connect with so deeply as a value. There's something about it that you connect with so deeply that you're willing to live a life in service to the well-being of others within that community, because you recognize just how deeply connected you are and how it impacts not just you, but also future generations. And you're also honoring and respecting the people who came before you to build up that community or pour into that legacy. And you want to carry the torch and pass it on so that it can go further and continue to grow and adapt over time. So let's take a look at some cards so we can get a message about Imani or faith. All right. Looking out into the future here. Yeah, I feel like this is about taking action, looking out into the world. All right. This is the Two of Wands card. And, you have to, if you're going to take an action to kind of go out into the world and, go make your mark or do something, usually you have a firm belief in yourself or in something that's driving and guiding you. If you didn't have any values, if you didn't have anything that you hoped for, or you didn't have an expectation of something, it would be a lot more difficult to have that energy of trying to go out into the world and take action to make something happen. You have to believe that you can do something, that you are somebody, and that you have a legacy and you have a purpose and you have all these different things that we talked about, that you are connected to your community, that you have a shared responsibility for others and people feel the same about you. When you have a interconnectedness of all of that, you have people who are more willing to go out and be who they are because they have the support of knowing that they are supported by their community and their culture. Okay, let's get another card here. Exchanging gifts. Okay, yeah. So, I feel like your ability to also have some sort of belief that is anchoring you, that allows you to be more free to interact with others and exchange in a reciprocal manner. All right. We spoke a lot in this series about feeling that pull towards rugged individualism as opposed to community and shared living and all of that. And you know, if you are missing the values or beliefs or connectedness to a culture, or your faith in that culture, faith in the longevity of that culture, faith that what you pour in will be good seed and that you'll see a harvest from it, or somebody in the future will get a harvest from that. When you have that, then you can exchange gifts. When you don't, you're more likely to run from that group or to not pour into it, and you see a crumbling of that. Let's pull another card. Wondrous Universe. We have Walk in Beauty. All right, so faith allows you to see the beauty in situations. So even if you're not quite convinced that everything will work out right, because it doesn't look like that, you're able to see through that and know that in the bigger scheme of things, the grander scheme of things, and the bigger picture, because you know the legacy, you know the history, you know the story, the things that have been overcome, and all of that, you can root and ground that in and allow that to anchor you. It gives you the ability to have an expectation of bounty, an expectation of abundance, an expectation of a return. All right. And when people feel that, they are more likely to put their life force energy, you know, we're speaking about the Ankh, into this group, this community, investing in others, allowing others to invest in you. You know, looking at this card, it also looks like the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, because it's like there's a planet with rings and then there's like another huge planet. And that's something that at the time of this reading just happened. Only happens once every 800 years. Many people feel like it's a meeting of energies that allow you to liberate yourself, to be free, to be who you are. Okay. But I do recommend looking that up and kind of seeing the spiritual significance of that. If you have not had a chance, there's been lots of stuff that's been put out about that. And I won't do it justice right now. So, the next card that we have is Protection. All right. So I feel as if you've been in a situation where you didn't feel protected, this could be like if you came from a family that had some dysfunctionality and it was broken down. You know, unfortunately, particularly in African American communities, there's a very high percentage of single parent families, and that does impact the children, and it can make you feel as if, you know, it's hopeless, because no matter what you do, things are going to fall apart. You're going to invest into a community or a family and then it comes apart, or there's lots of different things. But what this is saying is that this principle, the purpose of this is to turn that around, because without faith that something is going to come to a good end, or that it's worth what you're pouring into, because not just for you but for future generations, and you have an expectation of good as opposed to a history and a family legacy of brokenness and dysfunctionality and just not carrying through on a legacy, or not being true to, you know, a community and helping it to thrive, that could be a barrier to this. But in order to restore faith, there has to be a sense of feeling a responsibility to protect your loved ones. And this goes beyond just, you know, going into your community and worrying about all of that, but like starting in your own home. You know, it's take care of the ones in your own home, care for the ones in your own home, protect the ones in your own home, and then that ripples outwardly into the community. If you have a lot of homes that are not having this happen, or they don't feel protected, or there's not a sense of shared responsibility for each other's livelihoods or well-being within that community, then on the macro level, you're not going to have a culture or community that people feel like they can have faith in, that anything good could come from it, or that it's worth putting effort into it, and that you would see something positive back. All right. Let me pull another card here. Oops, let me do this one. Okay. Ask for your needs to be met. Yeah. So, you know, this I think goes with what we were just saying about people feeling like their needs are not met, like they can't ask for it. This goes to feeling disconnected, that rugged individualism that kind of isolates people, and it makes people feel like they're really alone. And it's dog eat dog. If you can't figure it out on your own, then, you know, too bad for you. And this makes people lose faith, not only in their community, but in themselves and their own abilities. And it starts from within. All right. So this is saying God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped. And it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you. So I'm picking up that, you know, God helps us through others. You know, it's other people that come to us and help us. And it's the same thing with us. You know, God helps others through us when we stand in that gap, and we are those representatives on this planet of God. And so when we can connect to others, you know, it's one thing where we should recognize our hand in helping God, but also even in something as mundane as our families, you know, if it's difficult to see someone as a family member as being someone to help, and that's not being cheeky and saying that, then at least try to look at it from the perspective of like your higher power or God. Like, this is a human being. This is a person in your community. It doesn't matter what your race is or what culture you come from. This is a person that's a member of my community. They're in need, or I am a person that's a human being and I'm in need. I am able to reach out to other human beings. I have faith that when I ask, I'm going to be included in this community. And when other people are in similar situations, you know, they have faith that if they come to me as a fellow human being, that I am going to respond to them as if they were, you know, a part of me. I will see the interconnectedness of us all while also respecting them and who they are, but see how I can play a role in their life. And this is what builds strong, thriving, successful, happy communities. The faith that the efforts that you pour in on your day-to-day basis, just living your life and being a part of that community, does not come back barren, or it doesn't come back as if you wasted your energy or wasted your time. And there's never a waste of time. At the very least, we learn from it. But this principle to me speaks to incorporating all of the principles prior to it in order to enhance the faith that people have in each other and the expectation of their shared coexistence together. All right, so this is what I have for your reading. Thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. And until the next video, bye-bye.